Hey everybody, how's it going? This is the Erroneous One here with the new Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key update video. So this is gonna be a Let's Talk. I don't do a lot of Let's Talks, mainly because like sometimes I find it hard to do Let's Talks because I have a different perspective on the game from a bunch of other players. And by different perspective, I mean that I spend money on the game quite a bit more than most people do on the game. So my viewpoints and such on certain things are skewered. Well, not skewered. Just not. Sometimes I miss things, or I don't see things the same way that a free-to-play player would, or a casual player would, or even other pay-to-play players. You know, I don't always agree with what they do, or I do things differently. You know, and it's just that's just the way my game is. You know, each person is obviously different in terms of how they do things with the game and how they approach the game. But we all do different things. So I kind of want to come back and take a step back and talk about the high score challenge again and the current banner pull being No Mercy and such real quick. That's gonna be this one. So this is gonna be let's talk about the banner pull and my thoughts on it for the most part going through this. You guys saw that earlier. I did post my pull videos and my Guilty video and my first high score challenge run. I did pretty well on that. I did great on the pulls. The pulls for me were amazing. I did really well on those. I did 20 pulls and got quite a bit. In the high score challenge, I did hit over 23 million now. Like I said, I knew I could do it. I just had to go in there and tweak a few things in my approach. I use the same setup that I showed on the video, which is going to be this one right here. So I used the El Shorty Kyrie with no cost on her. I used my Guilty Key R3 at 120%. I use my Ursula here. She is Chippendaled and does have Attack Price Plus on her. This one is fully Guilted, Chippendaled, and has Attack Boost 3 Max on her. And then this my other one. It's just a naked Ursula with nothing on it but Attack Price Plus. I put Attack Price Plus on those two because I needed the APP back. Or sorry, not the APP. I needed the SP back on my Keyblade setups because using these medals are kind of expensive. They are 3 cost gauges. And I wasn't going to end there with any other form of SP replenishment. And while the event does have SP chests inside of it, they're not enough to, fully they'll let you fully complete the mission or the quest with your best score, just by how few they are and then what they give you in there. So I picked the I put the APPs on the 2 Ursulas there, and I tweaked how I attacked a few of the bosses, and I got over 23 million, which is really good for me. I'm ranked at 10th, I think, right now. Yeah, I'm ranked at 10th right now, which is pretty good. But in terms of that, and so that's... Let's start at the beginning. I'm trying to be a little more organized. I'm going to try and be, like, this is going to be a kind of also a change up video for me as well. I'm going to try and be a bit more organized in how I give out information now. I might do a few more Let's Talks, and I'm going to try and be more... I'm going to try and be more generalized in terms of the advice I'm giving out. Like, I'm going to try to not just say things based off what I have, but my thoughts on what other people have too, what other people have available. Now, granted, I'm not going to be right all the time. I'm probably wrong more often than not, mainly because I don't know what you guys have. I have no idea what medals you have. I have no idea what Keyblades you have, what level your Keyblades are at, what you have Guilted and what you don't have Guilted, So it's kind of hard for me to, really get into nitty gritty unless you guys ask me like a very specific question, like saying, hey, I have an X level Divine Rose, these medals on it, and then like, an idea of some medals you have there, and I can try and give you an idea from that point. But again, that's been kind of hard going for that. So the banner itself, I'm going to start at the beginning of my thought process here. The banner itself. In the previous video I did when I was doing my first run of the high score challenge, I mentioned how I didn't mind the banner the way it was on the whole. Like, not only, and I'm not just saying it because I got amazing pulls. I did get amazing pulls. That's undeniably a pure fact. I got amazing pulls on mine. Some people said who didn't agree with me were like, well, you wouldn't have been that way. You wouldn't agree with this banner pull if you hadn't gotten those kind of pulls. You would have been salty. Well, yeah, I would have been salty, I spent money on jewels, I wasted jewels, I didn't get, any of the, I didn't get Ursula, I didn't get the Key Art 3. Yeah, I mean, I would have been salty, of course, anybody would, we're people, we're playing this game, we're spending money on it, you want to get the new shiny toys that are being released in it. So yeah, that's totally right, but I wasn't just saying that because of what I got. What I got was great, and yes, obviously, that skewed my favor in terms of skewed my opinion being in favor of the pull banner. Um, yeah, I got great pulls, but I was mainly saying that because more often than not, like 7 to 8 times out of 10, I saw and I heard about people getting great pull rates from this banner. It's not just me because I got great pull rates myself. I'm saying other people got really good pull rates off this banner. People, if you guys watch other YouTubers as well, like Eternity of Light as an example, pulled a Ursula. I think within her third or fourth pull, she pulled a HD Ursula. I know that Metalcore pulled HD Ursula back to back. I've seen people in my Discord group who have pulled really great rates. I saw a person post a shot on my Discord group who pulled 2 HD Ursulas and a Key Art 3 in one pull. And that was their, I think what was it? They said that was their fourth pull. And their fourth pull, that is what they pulled. That's amazing. That's obviously really, really good. And then, on the flip side of that, you see people, and again, I have people who comment on my page as well too, who say they pulled 12 plus times. They pulled almost 20 times, and they didn't get a single Key Art 3. They didn't get a single HD Ursula, and that really sucks. And I completely understand that too. So it leads to an interesting thing. I mean, I'm still going to hold by my opinion up to a point. I'm trying to be extremely objective in what I'm saying here to this. Cena is a business. We know this. They are in this to make money. They are doing so very well. This is also a gacha game. The nature of a gacha game is to entice people to spend money and in hopes of you getting something. There are a lot of games where a mercy is not a thing in the games. Again, if you guys, a really popular one is Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. There are no mercies, from what I understand, in that game. You're not guaranteed a particular unit after a certain number of pulls. It just doesn't work that way with them. You have to get lucky in them. Our game has been, I'm not gonna say spoiled, but we've been accustomed to that for so long that now that's potentially changing out, a lot of us are balking at that because we're going like, oh man, I don't want to, you want that comfort factor, you want that comfort, that security blanket, knowing that, hey, if I pull so many times, I am gonna get at least one of these new medals, and I understand that too. The only thing I'm trying to think about in this regard too is so many more people got really good pull rates out of these pulls the way they are now than those who didn't, and more than likely, Cena is. I mean, I'm sure Cena is paying attention up to a point, in what we're doing. I don't think they're gonna watch content creators like myself, but I'm sure they're gonna see posts on Twitter where their tags are tagged into them and such, and they're gonna see this kind of stuff, and they're gonna go, okay, we got so many pulls out of this style banner. A lot of people seem to like it more than. They're going to pay more attention to people who liked it than people who didn't like it. That's what I'm trying to say. If more people got good pulls and are happy with it than those who got bad pulls or didn't get anything good pulled at all, they're going to go, oh, well, that's kind of sucks for that person. But, look, that those two people over there in that corner didn't get good pulls. But these 7 or 8 people over here got great pulls and they're happy. So we're going to focus on making them happy. And that's just going to be the way it is, unfortunately. Don't get me wrong either. I know that if this particular format of banner pulling remains, I am going to be a victim of pulling so many times and not getting a single one of the new medals, the new tier 5 or the new high score medal that I want to get. I will eventually become a victim of that if they keep this banner. And that is a risk I take and that we all take when we play this type of game. When you play a gacha game, that is the risk you take. That's not an unknown thing. So, it is what it is. I play the game. I accept that fact. I know that fact. I walked into this one not thinking that I would pull the way I did. I was honestly just hoping to get maybe one HD Ursula and one Key Art 3. And I would have been, I won't say content because, I'd be like, oh man, I pulled so many times and I only got one HD Ursula and one key art 3. But that's kind of what I went in there expecting up to a point. You know, I didn't expect to get into pulls I did. You know, when I did more research into it, I didn't expect to see so many people getting so many amazing pulls out of their pulls in those draw rates. So it is what it is. I mean, like I said, I'm from my personal standpoint right now, I am 65-ish% in favor of the banner staying this way because of the pull rate. If the pull rate maintains the way it is, again, the pull rate won't be the same for everybody like that. There are going to be those people who are not going to get anything within a certain number of pulls, and again, that sucks, and I am sorry that happens. And again, I know eventually I will be one of those people. That I know eventually, if the banner rate stays the way it is, I will be one of those people who pulls and doesn't get pretty much anything out of the pulls, unfortunately. And it's going to suck when it happens to me. I know it's going to suck when it happens to me. I'm not denying that fact. But when it happens, I'm going to have to, you know, swallow it, unfortunately, and go, okay, you know, yes, you know, if it happens to me, I'm going to go, man, I wish it was a mercy, but then I'm going to look around, and I'm more than likely, I'm going to see a bunch of other people who got really good pulls and go, okay, you know, this time all these people got good pulls and I didn't. That happens. I mean, so there's that fact too in it. You know, it's gonna be an interesting issue in terms of that one. There's also a flip side too, that this banner was interesting in the fact that I managed to guilt HC Ursula and Key Art 3, and I spent less money than I would have if I had mercied each of them. If they were at 5 mercy pulls, I would have, you know, it's $700 to guilt a medal at a 5 pull mercy. It's $1,400 to do it at a 10 pull mercy. I spent considerably less than that, you know. I didn't spend the full $400 because I have access to other funds as well from other adventures. But I spent considerably less than that, and I pulled 20 times, which would have been $400. That's a lot less than it would be if I had mercied a 5 pull mercy for one of them, just one of them, and I got both of them guilted. So I have to look at that too. You know, I have to look at, you know, hey, you know, I'm spending this much money before to get things mercied, and now I'm spending this much money and it's less, and I got 2 things mercied. There's that factor in there too as well, and it's something to consider as well. It's not just like, you know, it can't just be Cena took away the mercies and, you know, we're all in an uproar about it. You know, it's like, you kind of have to see what they're doing and then how they change it to accommodate. And in this case, they seem to have accommodated the majority of the players, and I mean the majority of the players, not just me, but the majority of the players playing the game. They seem to have accommodated by giving better drop rates for premium medals in these pulls, not just in terms of the HC Ursula and the Key Art 3, but also in other ones too. A bunch of people pull. Like, I just saw somebody in my Discord group just posted, and they did 3 pulls, and they got a orbed illustrated Sora out of those 3 pulls. I've seen other than that too. I've seen people getting other premiums out of these pulls as well too, at a much higher rate than they used to. So, kind of have to look into that as well. So, like I said, my viewpoint on it right now stands like I'm 65% in favor of this format, provided the pull rates maintain. Provided the pull rates maintain the way they are, I'm going to be in favor of this, and I think it also, in the end, is going to favor free-to-play and casual players up to a point as well, too, because at least at that point in time, you have a better chance with the rates they are now to get a premium than you would otherwise. Maybe not the one that you know is advertised for high score, for instance, but maybe another premium you guys may have needed. You have a good chance of getting one too. That's and that's a tricky thing too as well, because even free-to-play players, from what I've seen, free-to-play players save their jewels, or they try to save their jewels for events that are really going to benefit them. Again, we all come back to illustrated Kingdom Hearts 2 illustrated Kairi, or Tyri as she's called. We all come back to that. That's going to be one that everybody is saving for and getting ready for when she's released, because she's going to be a must-have game-changing medal. She's going to be a game-changing medal. And a lot of free-to-play and casual players like to save their jewels for medals that are like that, which makes sense, because you have limited resources, so obviously you want to spend those resources as best as possible. If they have her in a non-mercy fashion like this, hopefully you guys have enough jewels to do like a 10 pull regardless, you know, because free-to-play players and such, they don't, I mean, even if a medal is mercied at 5, they're not always doing, and more often than not, free-to-play players aren't pulling the full 5 because they can't, because they need to save, or they just don't have that many jewels stocked up, which again, I understand. So in that regard, people who are paying are able to do so still regardless. They're able to still pull regardless because they're used to doing it anyway, and they have a certain amount of funds set aside for it, and they don't really have those limitations on them in terms of pulling. So the pull rates, in terms of how many people are pulling and how often they're pulling, isn't going to change with the mercy to non-mercy. The only thing, again, is the main thing in this one is that people are losing that safety blanket of you're guaranteed at least one of these medals after a certain pull. So that's kind of my take on it. It was a little skewered on that one. Sorry, I mean, I try to keep it as organized as possible. I mean, my mind's kind of jumping from point to point real quick, and I have other things to talk about too. But the next thing I want to talk about from that one is, why do you want to pull for the new medals? The new medals, the main reason you would want to pull for new medals now is going to be because they're the only medals that are available to give you boost in this high score challenge. If you don't have these medals set up in the high score challenge, you're not going to rank very high to get some of the rewards like Young King Mickey. You need a few of these at least to start ranking up higher in order to get a chance to maybe even hopefully get a single Sword Donald Goofy version B, or to potentially guilt Young King Mickey. You need to pull you need to have a few of these boosters into your setups. This is the one thing that I am actually going to disagree with on Cena about quite a bit. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I miss the 7% boosters that they had there from previous medals. It used to be where previous medals released, and then previous high score boost medals from the last high score were made available in the new high score as like 7% boosters. So if they were like a 14 or a 21%, they would be like a 10% or a 7% in the new high score or in this high score. I don't like that they're kind of taking it away because it's made the high score challenges 100% pay to play. You cannot participate in a high score challenge and compete in a high score challenge now unless you pay. And that sucks. That I don't agree with at all whatsoever. I think they should have I think they need to bring back like the 7% boosters from previous banner pulls and this other medals that they might drop in there that would suit the high score. Because it used to be like, they might drop in medals that, like, lower defense as a booster, or that increase, or that lowered the enemy strength as a booster, that kind of thing, that you kind of needed to get past it with those 7% boosters. I miss that feature. I think that feature should be brought back. I don't think that the high score challenges should be pay to play, which is what the last two have been. If you didn't pay to do a few pulls from the last two high score challenges, you weren't going to get a booster, and you weren't going to rank high to compete to get the reward medals, unfortunately. So that one, that one is just, that sucks. I really don't like that at all. It's unfair, I think. You want to, these high scores need to be made available to all of the players. All the players. Free to play, casual, and pay to play. The high score needs to be open and competitive up to a point in those. Obviously, if you are a free-to-play or casual player, and I'm a pay-to-play player, I'm going to rank higher than you because I'm paying to play, and I have more medals to utilize, better boosters to medalize. I'll be walking in there with like the 14 and 21% boosters, and as opposed to the 7% boosters, so I'm going to rank higher. But even free-to-play players and casual players still had a chance to rank higher to get some of the rewards. Maybe not guilted, but you still had a chance to get the medal, which would have been great for you guys to compete. And that made the high scores fun, People were able to compete at all levels of the game. It wasn't just, the pay-to-play players. I want that brought back. I think Santa really needs to bring that back, and I think it's extremely disappointing that they haven't been doing that lately. That one does make me sad quite a bit. And again, I totally disagree with what Cena's doing in terms of that. 100%. So hopefully in the upcoming high score challenges, we'll see that brought back. We'll see a wider variety of medals that are not only the new medals that you need to pull for in order to get the boost out of it. I think that'd be amazing to see again, and I think it'd help out everybody as well too, and make the game more competitive overall for the high score challenge. But those are my ideas in this one, guys. Again, I'm sorry, this is kind of disjointed. I'm going to try and do a bit better in terms of my Let's Talk videos. And I'm going to try and be a little more, a I guess I'm gonna try and be more open-minded to all formats of the play, not just my play, but because I'm pay to play, but everybody else's too. I'm gonna try and keep a more open eye to that. One of the ways that I've been doing that, and again, is also a recommendation for all of you guys too, is go watch Smelly Octopus. I mentioned him before quite a few times, and I mentioned him because he's like the free to play king, man. He does so much with what he has, and he has two accounts. One that he runs totally free to play, and one that he runs where he pays a little bit every now and then, but not a huge amount. Both those, and he posts both those accounts on his YouTube video. So you'll get videos showcasing the free to play account, and then videos showcasing his I guess paying account, which isn't really a whole lot, but he does pay a little bit in that one too. I've been watching him a lot more lately because he gives such great advice, and he's opened my eyes to a lot of things. Like, there are a few metals that I didn't think about utilizing in certain ways that I saw him use, and I was like, I never even thought that metal could carry me through, this quest. I didn't think, and with all objectives completed, he did it, and I was like, oh wow, okay, that metal has more utility than I thought it did. That's actually be really useful. He is amazing for that one. So if you guys hit my homepage, down there in my recommended watchers, he's one of them for sure. So I would definitely go watch Smelly Octopus if you haven't already been watching him, because he's great at that. So I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to what he's doing. You may hear my advice emulating his advice up to a point. I might tweak it a bit going like, he did this, but I may think this is a little better, or I may think this needs to be done a little differently perhaps. Because again, he has his own viewpoints in the game. I have my viewpoints in the game. But I'm going to try to be more open-eyed with my Let's Talk videos and the advice I'm giving out to people. And again, as always, if you guys have any questions for me, or something you want to see me do in particular, like in a certain fashion, like, take on a event with different medals and such, I will do my best to accommodate you guys with that. See what we can do about that. Just because I like communicating with you guys. I like talking with you guys. I wouldn't be posting videos on YouTube if I didn't enjoy interacting with people about this game. That's why I did it. I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to say, hey, this is what I did. Did you guys like it? Did you guys not like it? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? How did you get past it? That kind of stuff. That's what prompted me to start doing the YouTube videos, because I was like, I don't have very many friends in real life who play the game with me or as competitively as I do, and all you do, so that's why I made it. So I want to talk to you. So give me your guys' advice on that one. If you guys have any advice for this Let's Talk, in terms of how I approached it or anything, or things you think I can do to improve my Let's Talk, let me know. Because again, I'm open to feedback as always. So I can get better. So I can give you guys better content and better advice for the game. That's gonna be my overall goal when doing this. But I think it's enough. I think I've rambled on long enough about this. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate it. Let me know you guys liked it, and be sure to leave me a comment down below about what I can do to improve, or if you guys thought this was actually an okay Let's Talk, just so I can get some feedback, so I know how to approach this again for you guys to make it better for you. And that, you guys take care, and as always, thank you so much for watching.